We humans have the ability to do so much, yet we do so little. Our evolution and social development has brought us to this unique point in our history. All through man's history, there has been inquisitiveness, experimenting, questioning, and deep thought on the world in which we live in and the part humans play in it. We have landed on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Deciphered the human genome, made phenomenal advances in medicine, and have for the first time in our history begun to understand not only the planet upon which we live, but also the universe. There are many unanswered questions, but there are a vast number of inquisitive minds armed with a scientific education and a social understanding never before seen in human society, ready to work towards answering the many questions we all have. We are experiencing a very special time in our history. We are in the middle of a Star Trek moment. A Star Trek moment is, simply put, a moment in time, in our social and evolutionary history, where we have grasped an understanding of what we are, and we have developed science, technology, and various tools that can, if we choose to use them, change our evolutionary path, giving us control of how we evolve and develop. Socially and economically, we have over the centuries used several different types of structures to regulate our societies and economies. Absolute monarchy, various forms of democracy, capitalism, communism, and National Socialism have all flourished for a period of time, and most have fallen by the wayside. In the modern industrialized world, capitalism seems to have lasted the longest, yet it has had its problems. A capitalist economy is a fragile thing that thrives on the individual creating wealth through business, new ideas, and technology. It regularly crashes and burns, destroying the lives of millions and enriching a few within society. Communism spreads the wealth out more evenly at first, but it disregards the entrepreneurial and imaginative capabilities of humans and therefore consumes itself from the inside. Is there a direct connection between science, technology, innovation, and forms of government? Does the continuing scientific development render government less effective? Or does it become imperative for a government to keep a strong hold on society and its scientific developments? Have governments in the past evolved, morphed, as innovation in machinery, farming, textiles, and science gained a foothold in communities and society at large? Most definitely. We humans now find ourselves at a most unusual point in our history. Science will allow us, should we use it wisely, to change the very essence of what we are and how we function, and governments must take note of this. One thing dominates the industrialized world and has begun to influence emerging economies: energy. We are slaves to energy. Everything we use in the modern world of ours needs energy, and energy companies seem to have a monopoly. We have been led down a path where we have little choice but to buy from a few suppliers. All that we are, all the scientific research and technological advances need energy. There is nothing more important to humans than where and how they live. The home is where we spend most of our time, and it needs to be as comfortable and energy efficient as possible. As more and more people work from home, it will become the most important location in everyone's life. And it is here where science, social development, politics, and economics come together. Humans are the sum of everything, but everything is not of equal measure. The internet is heralded as a game changer for all of us. Instant access to trillions of bits of information, useful and useless. The internet knows no discrimination. Our Star Trek moment is now. The combination of science and all it can do for mankind and our social and political structures can change our way of life forever. The hurdle in front of us all is our form of government. Developed into capitalism as a way of giving everyone a chance at a better life, it has failed dismally, creating every 15 to 20 years a financial meltdown fueled by greed, incompetence, and laziness. It is, however, for those of us in reasonable democracies the price we all pay. Paralleled to the evolution of capitalism, science, often financed by capitalism, has slowly been gaining ground. Certainly in the latter part of the 20th century, it has had an exponential explosion of knowledge, technology and understanding, which finds us on the brink of a brave new world. A world where science can lay down a new foundation for society and mankind, where we humans are in control of our future evolution. Science is a foundation upon which the four corners, health, home, education, and employment should stand. The maxim, "An Englishman's home is his castle," illustrates the starting point to realize our Star Trek moment. Contrary to popular belief, society's wealth is not created by wealthy individuals and corporations. They may seed the venture, but it is those on lower salaries that move the investment forward. Those on low incomes need to have secure housing, housing that is cost-effective, comfortable, and endurable. With over 1.8 million households in need of social housing, the UK is in the midst of a crisis. Building energy-neutral social housing designed to last will do several things for the economy. Firstly, it will relieve the housing shortage, bring down the cost of housing overall. Secondly, by installing solar panels, heat exchangers, underfloor heating, triple glazing, and other energy-saving devices, it will allow those on low incomes to spend more money predominantly in the retail sector. Thirdly, the private sector will follow suit and will increase the efficiency of renewable energy and reduce the cost of housing construction. The increase in economic activity and employment will last decades. Our Star Trek moment is here and now. It allows us to embrace, develop the many possible medical advances that nestle on mankind's horizon. It is estimated by the end of this century, life expectancy will be 100 years plus. The mapping of the human genome has thrown wide open the doors to curing our many ailments, as well as extending lifespan to a point where it would aid cosmic travel to all reaches of our solar system, and possibly beyond. Good health, wealth is true wealth. Stock markets crash, economies tank, banks go bust. But good health proffers the ability to work and produce solid wealth. Education is the foundation for a productive future. It is the backbone of society. The knowledge base expands exponentially with each generation, so upon the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, each generation is faced with a phenomenal onslaught of more data. Organizing education and technological knowledge in such a way that it can be disseminated quickly to those in education is itself a major task. Thankfully, the computer has made this task easier. A good education is not necessarily received in schools or universities, but also in apprenticeships, on-site training, and life experience. As humans live longer, their working life is lengthened. A career for life is no longer the default position, and many will have 3 or 4 different careers in one lifetime. The experience an older worker brings to a new position is invaluable. Employment is the last of the 4 cornerstones upon which to build a stable society. Creating new businesses based on scientific and technological advancement will give rise to higher rates of employment in areas of infrastructure such as construction, transportation, communications, and medical development. Our Star Trek moment is here and now. Maybe it will last another 10 years. If not taken advantage of before then, only the very rich and those in positions of power will benefit from it. We will have lost a phenomenal opportunity to take humanity into a new direction, away from evolution and natural selection, into one where we make the decision based on science, knowledge, and hopefully common sense. It would be sad to think that in a century or so, future generations will question our lack of vision. Why did we not utilize science and technology to their fullest, rather than let politics, religion, and self-interest color our judgment? Such moments have seldom presented themselves in man's evolution and social development. It would be monumental folly not to grasp this moment. Our Star Trek moment embraces science and all that is best in mankind. We can boldly go where no human has gone before.